Hello and welcome back to my Diecast collector channel, and today I'm gonna show you this a war machine from the Hot Toys, and this is my first ever Iron Man's or War Machines figures that I have ever received. This is a neon tech version. The reason why they call neon tech is that all the orange color painted one on the body is actually luminescent. So basically if you use the UV light at night, it will lit up and it will shine, and it's supposed to be really beautiful. But unfortunately, I don't have a UV light to show you that. But one day I'm gonna show you that these effects. Yeah, so I was thinking on getting a UV light stand called the Toy Box, and apparently they are also quite expensive. They are about like £80, something like that, from eBay. The cheapest one I found is £65, and it's already sold out, so I couldn't get it anymore. But anyway, I'm happy with it as it is without the UV light, and this is fine as it is. So yeah, so first impression, the box is nice, and when I open it, it has so many layers of protective one, and the figure is nice and chunky. It's really big and it's very strong, very heavy, and I think this is over 1 kilo. And I measured it a second ago. It's about 1.3 kilo actually, which is really heavy. And this one have a lot of die cast, and that's why they're premium. That's why they are triple the price of the Ultraman that I have before. Now there are some problem with these figures, which I'm gonna show you that in a minute. But first thing, the good impression and the good thing about it is that I love all the matte effects, not matte effects, sort of like rubbery thing. Black contrast with the shiny gloss black one, which is really cool. And some of the parts here are magnet as well, so you can take out some of these little pieces here. They are magnet to show the internal pieces, but they could have made it a bit more with the silver color to make it a bit more stands out. But at the moment in this figure, it doesn't matter what, they're all basically black color everywhere. So yeah, articulation wise, I'm not gonna bother showing you this, but they're all basically the same as my Ultraman. They all move, all the joints, every corner, every toe, everything you can think of, they all move in the way that you want. So articulation wise is never a problem. They're all the same. In terms of accessory, it doesn't really come with anything, just a pair of hands, and which is sucks, right? So all you get a couple of fists, and yeah, and 2 pair of hands that actually articulatable by little fingers and stuff like that. So every little fingers you can actually move around. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You have a little lights on the effects in the little holes there to make LED light to shine through. Yeah, so you got the submachine guns, and you got the rear air flags, and you can open these things to make it looks like it's worth takeoff. Yeah, so these are all thruster and so that they can fly. And yeah, so let's stop this rotation table and to show you what the LED and everything is. So basically you can have LED light in here. You got a little light switch here to turn on and off, which is very easy to access. Some of these Iron Man figures are very difficult. You got to take out a lot of pieces to get into the battery compartment, which is a nightmare. But in this figure it's very easy. You just swap around and like that. This gun effect does not come with these figures, but I stole it from one of them Gundam, and it comes with this spare part, which I decided to put it in here, which makes sense because it fit perfectly well from his machine gun, from his handguns or whatever you call it, shotguns or anything like that. Anyway, so this is very heavy, and this whole legs is a die cast, and there's quite a lot of die cast in here. And what I like about this one is that they got quite a few die casts in this leg and also in the arm. So if I take this off to show you a bit closer, so this leg is die cast, this whole thigh is a die cast, and here is also die cast here, and these are plastic. The whole chest piece is there. This whole thing is plastic, and the leg is also die cast, and yeah, they're all die cast, but the feet is not die cast, it's a plastic, surprisingly. However, they do have a die-cast skeleton, so everything inside there is an all die-cast skeleton, so that's a good thing. And on the arm, this piece is die-cast, this piece is plastic, and so is the gun. They are all plastic. So is the head, and the head helmet is easily removable. They're all magnet, so you just move it, and you can see it come out like this, which is very weird. And the battery is in here as well, so you just basically put it back in. They're all basically magnet, which is easy to attach. And the shoulder pad is also plastic, and these are all plastic. Machine gun is also plastic, everything plastic here. And yeah, so this is all a rocket, which you can turn it and then fold it, push it back down, and you can store it in this compartment, which is nice. So you don't have to waste all the space there. One major problem I'm having is some of these plastic parts are not painted. They are all black plastic, and you can see they already have scratches around it, which is really annoying. I mean, why can't they paint this? I seen Justin Collection on the YouTube, and he also said the same thing. I mean, I absolutely agree with Justin in this case, because all this black plastic is just a nightmare. I mean, why don't they paint it? And on the die-cast piece, they paint it, which is lovely, and it's nice and glossy, and they are scratch resistant in a way, so you can just, if you got fingerprint, you just wipe it off, it's gone. But these plastic, they are not easy, okay? They get scratched easily, they get dusted so much, and yeah, it's not really ideal at all. This is really a pain. But one major problem with these figures is on the feet. The feet joints is ridiculously loose. I can't believe that. I mean, despite all this weight and all this stuff, the feet supposed to be strong and stiff, but this is crazy. It's so loose, and this is why this thing is very easy to fall down. You see, inside there is some metal part here. I'm not sure you can see that on the camera to pick that up. Let me zoom in a little bit. Do you see there's a little metal bar there, and that is a die-cast piece. And if I move around, you can see it's there. Everything else, all these areas, they're all plastic. But what I mean is this, look at the joint. I don't need to put any efforts here, and they just go forward and backward like that. And this is really scarily, because any slight touch on the figures, it will fall down. Okay, it's a complete nightmare. I mean, this figure has fallen down a few times, and it survives every time. But last time, it did not survive these gun effects. And I don't know if you notice it, you got this little corner, it snapped off because the figures fall down like this, bang. And then all these gun effects just broken, and I have to super glue them back, which is really a pain, because now I can't take this out as I want it and put it back in my Gundam. And this is permanently fixed now to these figures, which is really annoying, because that's not how I want it. But then again, I have no use for these one apart from the flight post in my Gundam, but so I have to use it here. Let me demonstrate here. I'm a bit scared. Okay, so I put it on the feet here, which is nice and solid. I'm not touching anything, okay? And there is no post or stands or anything here. Let me demonstrate here how slight touch is gonna fall down, right? So I have to hold it here. Just tap it a little bit. You see that? Just tap it slightly like this, it will fall down. It's just ridiculous. I mean, why Hot Toy don't think about these things and when they design these figures? And they are not cheap either, by the way. This one is, I got it on sales from the Kapow Toy, and for £270. And this is really discounted item, okay? If I have to pay this one for full price, this is gonna be £400 around that figures, around that marks. All the Iron Man, the War Machine, they all cost around about £380 is the minimum, and they can go up to £520. And that is a crazy price. I mean, you can buy fridge and freezer with that kind of thing. You can buy a brand new washing machine or the oven with that kind of price. I mean, and this one come with no accessory, no light effects, nothing, right? Apart from a few pair of hands. What am I gonna do with that? And then you got a cheap, nasty plastic stand. Okay, this is a disgustingly cheap. I mean, look at this. It's all plastic, and I can't even stick it in properly. This is not even correctly, sticking properly. And this crouch piece is also terribly designed for this war machine, and you can't actually do anything. So when this thing fall down, this is supposed to catch it, and because the figure is too heavy, what happened was this stand will also fall down with it. Okay, that's how terrible that is. It just doesn't do any purpose whatsoever. But however, it does give you some kind of stability when you put it on the stand. So if you touch it by accident or whatever, or if whatever happened, it cannot keep it in that position somehow. But however, this thing is supposed to go under his crouch, okay? But if I put it there, it doesn't really do anything, and you can see it still shake and move, which is ridiculously useless. So what I have to do is, this is such a bad design, because I have to put this crouch piece right in the middle of this metal piece there. Okay, and that's the only way to keep this guy in shape. And this is crazy. I mean, over time, this metal part is gonna scratch all the another die-cast piece of this figures, and all these things will get scratched eventually. And I don't like that idea, but I don't have a choice at the moment, because this not died, the feet is very unstable. So I'm really worried that if anything happened in my display cabinet, this thing will fall down, because this is too heavy, and it will smash all my glass and all the figures inside of this display cabinet. The whole thing will go, kaboom. So I just don't want that situation to happen. So I have to use this stands, even though I absolutely hate this stand. Some people like it. I just don't agree with it at all. This is just very cheap. I mean, I wouldn't even pay for like £10 for this, stands. So yeah, so that is my review. It is nice figures if they manage to make this feet tighter. Okay, other than that, is absolutely no complaint whatsoever. It is beautiful figures, and I'm hoping that the other figures that I have pre-ordered, I have the Mark 87s and also Medai's Mark 21. I think it's based on Mark 7, and also the Iron Patriot, and which I really love. And I saw this briefly on the Endgame, and it didn't have a lot of screen time, unfortunately, but I saw the pictures and I just absolutely love it, so I pay for it. I have pre-ordered all three figures, and they all cost over £400. So technically, I'm spending £1,200 just for 3 Iron Man figures plus this one. So this is total 4 Iron Man figures. It cost me £1,500. So that is a serious kind of money, and you can buy a decent gaming laptop with it, or you can buy a brand new LG or Sony OLED TV with that kind of price for 65-inch. I'm talking serious money here. But I'm getting these figures, and I just put it on a shelf, and just to collect dust, and it doesn't do any purpose for whatsoever. So I'm expecting a really good quality from Hot Toys, and so far this figure really let me down. I'm not really impressed with these figures, and unfortunately, but I just keep it for now. I'm not gonna complain. I just leave it as it is and deal with it. But in the future, when I get these figures from the Hot Toys, they better live up to my standard, really. Otherwise, I will never buy any more Hot Toys and ever again. I'm just gonna collect die-cast cars is very easy for me. I love cars, and not a problem, and they are not too expensive. So if you got bad models, and like my Audi, they're very cheap, only £50, doesn't matter. I can give it to my son to play around with it. It doesn't matter if I don't like it. But this Hot Toys, they are serious amount of money, and they don't provide any kind of accessory or nice display stands or anything like that. But anyway, this guy's actually weight around about 1,300 grams, so basically 1.3 kilo. And if I compare with my Ultraman is lighter. So Ultraman is about 600 grams. So yeah, there we are. In terms of height, and they're pretty much the same. But Ultraman is slightly shorter than War Machine. Technically, because this is supposed to be a child anime version of it, so slightly shorter, but not too bad. They're basically scalable. You can see that on the height. Yeah. So, well, I hope that this video is useful, informative, so that when you buy in the Hot Toy Premium Collectible, you might want to think twice about all these little details that I mentioned to you about. Because seriously, I mean, this figure really annoys me with the feet. I mean, this Ultraman is much better in terms of standings. You can see that I can do whatever I want, and it doesn't fall down. You see, it shake a little, but it doesn't matter. I can do all I want with it. See, it doesn't fall down. Look at that. How cool is that? This is what I'm talking about. This is what it's supposed to be from the Hot Toy. But unfortunately, it doesn't live up to that kind of standard here at all. If I shake it a little bit, I can guarantee you that this is gonna fall. Okay, so I have to prepare. Okay. See, look at that. That's because the feet is too loose. That's the problem. I can't fix it. I look at it all the way inside, try to screw it tight as much as I could. There is no way you can fix this leg problem. It's just the way it is. And that's the problem. You know, I look at on the Facebook as all the 1/6 scale society. I mentioned this situation to the people. And there are a lot of people saying the same thing with their War Machine or Mark 1 or some of the Iron Man figures. They all have the same problem. You know, it's a bad design, basically. I don't know. I mean, Hot Toy, they're supposed to be the premium top-end company for this kind of thing, but apparently they don't live up to my expectations so far. So they better be with the other 3 models that I have pre-ordered. Otherwise, just gonna cancel it. If another figure is gonna be the same problem, I just gonna cancel everything. I just want my money back. Now, apart from moaning aside, I am very happy to say to you about my Transformer. My Transformers are absolutely awesome, and the 3-0 is really win my heart here. And I started collecting these figures because of these Transformer that I picked it up from 3-0, and I just fall in love with it. And because of that, I start collecting all these figures now. And yeah, 3-0 is the one that I started everything. So I will thoroughly recommend the 3-0 Transformer, which I'm going to show you in the next video. And then after that, I'm going to show you all the Gundams that I have collected. And Gundams are also really lovely. I absolutely love all these figures apart from, this War Machine. So anyway, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.